We just spent a month in Alicante, Spain.
But is it somewhere we could consider living? Find out in this episode of Unhurried Adventurers.
Roll it!
No rush, no race, no need to fight. Unhurried adventurers, come roll with us.
Welcome or welcome back. If you're new to our channel, we're going to be spending the next 6 years traveling the world to find our new forever home. And first up is Spain.
So we just spent a month in Alicante, and what we've decided to do is for each of the cities that we stay long term, we're going to rank them on different categories. And the first category is food. Food, we scored a 7 out of 10.
And the reason that I scored it a 7 was mainly because I really love my vegetables and there weren't an abundant amount and variety of vegetables. However, it was a Mediterranean typical diet, very fresh and abundantly available seafood, as well as olive oil, olive. They love their bread with their meals, and wine, of course, very affordable as well.
And I gave it a 7 out of 10 because while we had a lot of really good meals, we only had a couple of standouts, I would say. The first was La Taberna del Gourmet. We had a great lunch there with some friends. And then the second, we celebrated our 4th anniversary at a place called Alma de Barra, and that was quite good.
And our next category is weather. So we scored weather an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, and for weather, it's going to be, the time of year that we visited a place. We visited Alicante from mid-March to mid-April, and so it was very pleasant. We only had rain one day out of the month that we stayed there.
And we walked around the whole time because we were with some friends that just had gotten off of a ship. So it wasn't something that really disrupted our plans.
Yeah, they actually call it the City of Light because it has over 300 sunny days a year. So again, weather, it's a little bit tough to rate because it's just based on the time that you were there. What we've heard from locals was that it can get very, very hot in the summer, although they say not quite as hot as Malaga. So yeah, overall, 8 out of 10 for weather. The next category is safety. So for safety, we gave Alicante a 9 out of 10.
I felt very safe, especially as a female walking around by myself after dance at late evenings and early morning hours. I didn't feel there was threat. I was aware and cautious, obviously, of my surroundings. Even had a gentleman that I met walking his dog kind of walk with me and ensured I got home safely, and I never felt any kind of threat at all. So everybody seems very nice and kind and didn't feel at all unsafe.
Yeah, everything we read was that Alicante is one of the safest cities in Spain, and our experience didn't prove any different. Mm-hmm. The next category is how easy is it to get around?
We gave getting around a score of 8 out of 10.
Yeah, first off, Alicante is mainly a walkable city. We walked nearly everywhere. Mm-hmm. But they do have an abundance of tram lines, plenty of buses. It was very easy to get around and to figure out the systems as well. I think the only reason I didn't give it a little bit higher is because, number one, while you can fly to many, many places in Europe, there are no direct flights back to the United States. We heard that there was coming soon. But other than that, and then one of the other things is in southern Spain, the cities aren't as well connected as you think they might be. For instance, when we first booked this trip, we thought, well, we're going from Alicante to Malaga. We'll just take the train. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. There's not a good train connection to the southern part, to the Costa del Sol. So That's why we scored it an 8 out of 10.
And the next category is community.
So community, we actually rated an 8.5 out of 10. I think you rated it a 9 and I rated it an 8.
And I just felt like everyone was very kind and welcoming, easy to talk to. There were a lot of English-speaking people from all over the world. And in the dance community, I finally found at the very end of our stay there, they were very welcoming to outsiders. Great dance community. It would have been awesome to do a few more of those, but really good leads and some lessons as well from really good instructors. So I feel like that would have been a good place to have my little dance family, my new dance family.
Yeah. While we were there, we did a number of meetups too. Not as many as we wanted to. We were actually out of commission for a while. We both had a cold, but we did several meetups. I did a trivia meetup. We did a couple of hiking meetups. We
Afternoon social
just an afternoon
get-together.
social get together. So
There were
I
some
think,
language learning opportunities, beach volleyball, all kinds of things.
yeah. So a strong 8.5 for community.
And the next category is affordability. For affordability, we scored an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, we were really impressed with prices on things. You know, you had your common overcharge prices on some of the tourist menus in the center of town, but once you got out of the center, you saw better prices on menus. We were really impressed with the price at grocery stores and how cheap some things like toilet paper and things like that, and paper towels, and common household items that are way overpriced in the States. We were impressed with that. So we gave it an 8. It's not going to be as cheap as, Southeast Asia or anything, but it was definitely cheaper for almost everything we got than it is back in the United States.
And we'll end out the categories scoring the overall vibe.
So for vibe, that's kind of a broad category. It's just kind of the overall sense that we got from the city. And we scored Alicante an 8.5.
So, I mean, it was a small community, but that made it very walkable, very friendly. We got a chill vibe from it, very relaxed atmosphere, no rush for sure.
Especially coming from Barcelona previously, which was a totally different experience.
And this was much more affordable, much less crowded, except for during the Semana Santa, but that was to be expected.
Yeah.
And a really active meetup group and community, so really good vibe overall.
So that gives Alicante a final score of 57 out of 70 possible points. But will we live here?
So could we live here? Well, I say yes, definitely. It was our first stop, so it's hard to obviously compare it with other places. But we fell in love with Alicante and could definitely see ourselves settling down there.
Yeah, I think it was the first full day we were walking down the street, and I was like, I could definitely live here. And you had met somebody in the dance community that was a realtor, and I was like, why don't you message them? And we actually didn't go through with looking at any apartments or anything, because we do have a 6-year journey we plan on doing. But
if we make it through that,
yeah, we definitely could see ourselves living in Alicante. It was just a tremendous experience. So what we're going to do as this series goes along is rank the cities that we've stayed in. So since it's only been one so far, Alicante's off to a strong lead at 57 out of 70 possible points. If you found this video useful, please consider subscribing.
Where is Bob? I hope you look thorough. Like and comment if you spotted Bob the Burro.
Hi, for those of you new to our channel, we've been traveling. If you're new to our channel of Unhurried Adventures, just want to let you know what we're doing. We're traveling.
For food and Food, we scored a 7 out of 10. I guess we need to talk about what we're going to talk.